This is just a quick video about why I think this year's edition of the Tata Steel Chess Masters will be quite special. I think it's always a special tournament taking place right at the start of the chess calendar. It's an opportunity for players to get a new break and to maybe kickstart their a year in a different way to the last year if they've been disappointed, or to keep building the momentum. So why is this one going to be particularly special? Well, we've got the world champion playing, we've got Gukesh, and we've got 4 of the 8 candidates that are going to be taking part in that tournament later this year. So we've got Matthias Bluebaum, Anish Giri, Sindarov, and Pragg. However, if we go to the seedings, none of those 5 are the top seeds. So we've got Vincent Keymer and Arjun Erigaisi as the top seeds. So obviously 2 players who would be very disappointed to have missed out, and looking to maybe put their mark on the chess world by winning this tournament, something that neither of them have accomplished so far, but I'm sure they will at some point. Speaking of people who have won it, Anish Giri's won it in the past, so has Pragg, and also so has Jon van Foreest in an amazing tournament in 2019, where he sort of broke through into the elite and remains just above 2700. So another interesting inclusion here is Hans Niemman, who's made a point of complaining about not being invited to this exact event in the past. So, as ever with Hans Niemman, you might say he has a point to prove. If he places well, then he'll certainly be invited to a lot more of these kind of events. So we've got 5 of the world's top 10, which is pretty decent. We've got 8 of the world's top 21, so that's indicating that it's a very strong tournament. And even beneath that, the actual spread of the strength is quite good. So there's only 120 points separating the lowest rated and highest rated players, which is quite decent. So there won't be any huge mismatches. Of course, there'll be players that do relatively well and relatively less well, but there's opportunities for even these comparatively weaker players on paper to get themselves up towards the top echelons of the tournament, like Van Foreest did in the past. So this is actually the youngest ever field. In fact, if we look at these names, only Anish Giri and Vladimir Fedoseev are over the age of 30, which is really quite remarkable. And of course, we've got several teenagers and players in their early 20s as well. So that tends to lead to more exciting chess. These are all very combative players, and they could be expected to produce very entertaining games. The one player who you might think, well, I'm not sure why he's there, even Vladimir Fedoseev, I sort of thought, well, that's not maybe the most inspiring pick, but he came 3rd last year, so he's got good memories, and maybe he can have another strong result. We'll have to see. So this tournament is really quite unique. in top level chess. It's 13 rounds, so it tests the player's endurance. It tests their ability to compete for a long amount of time, and it can give indications for how people are going to do in the candidates tournament, because it's a very similar length of tournament to that. The candidates is 14 rounds, and the last time this tournament was held in a candidates year was the year Pragg won it, but he had tied on points in the overall tournament with Gukesh, who of course went on to win that candidates tournament. So there have also been occasions where the player who's gone on to win the candidates tournament hasn't done so well in this event, like in 2018, Fabiano Caruana, I think he only scored 5, and so maybe that gave him extra motivation to try and improve his play for the candidates tournament a few months later. So there are all these stories going into the candidates, and also the players who haven't quite got there, like Keymer and Erigaisi, and also Nodebak Abdussatorov, who I haven't even mentioned yet, because also will have been very disappointed to miss out, and he'll want to show the players that are there that he's well and truly amongst the elite as well. The other really great thing about this tournament is its lower tournament, the Challenger section. If you win that, you get into the Master section for next year. So that means it's got real stakes. It's not just something that you win. There's a and you get some money or whatever. If you win that tournament, you can go to the Masters event, and that's been the springboard for many careers. The player who won it last year, who's joined us for in the Master section this year, was Tata van Nguyen, and it'll be fascinating to see how he gets on. Obviously, the lowest rated, but that doesn't always mean that he'll finish on the lowest points. Otherwise, why would we be playing the tournaments in the first place? So yeah, I'm really excited for this tournament. I think this will be a really great, a really dramatic and great experience to watch. I think we'll see some very exciting games, both in this section and in the Challenger section as well. If we can have a look at the players there. Interestingly, there are 4 female players this year. So I've got Asa Wayever, Kirsi Yip, Miao Yin Liu, and Elena Robis. So, as well as lots of young talents as well. Faustino Oro, the so-called Messi of chess. Andy Woodward. Yeah, lots of very exciting young teenage players as well, and some older heads as well in this tournament, like Vasil Vanchuk, with his fantastic career in the game, and Irvin Lamy, who I think has won this tournament in the past as well. Never managed to quite win the Master section, but I think he did win the challenges in the past. So yeah, I hope that this tournament lives up to the sort of the expectation I'm giving on it, and I hope that you enjoy the games and the tournaments in general. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.